Well, in the U.S., a coach who built a legendary reputation in college football was torn down today in a scathing report. There are allegations the late Joe Paterno and other senior leaders at Penn State made a choice between exposing child sexual abuse and protecting the football program at the university. According to the report, Paterno chose the football program. The CBC's Paul Hunter has the story. Paul.
Mark, Penn State's football motto is success with honor. So much for that.
Successful, deified, powerful. The late football coach Joe Paterno could pretty much do whatever he wanted at Pennsylvania State University. Today, he was lumped in with other school officials for doing something heinous, deliberately covering up the rapes of young boys.
Our most saddening and sobering finding is the total disregard for the safety and welfare of Sandusky's child victims by the most senior leaders at Penn State.
Sandusky is Jerry Sandusky, a former coach at Penn State, now in jail for the repeated rapes of 10 boys over 15 years, often in the school shower room. Today's report, commissioned by school trustees, is littered with evidence Paterno and others knew all about it and hushed it up.
And the reasonable conclusion from that evidence is he was an integral part of this active decision to conceal.
Investigators point to an email from one senior school official who wrote he'd changed his mind about alerting authorities to an assault after talking it over with Joe. How powerful was Paterno? Consider the Penn State janitors.
They witness what I think in the report is probably the most horrific rape that's described. And what do? They panic.
They've testified they were afraid to report what they'd seen. No, they said at the time, they'll get rid of all of us.
If that's the culture on the bottom, God help the culture at the top.
The concern at the top, says the report, was bad publicity, that in-house rapes could hurt fundraising. Paterno, it notes, also worried it might ruin people's weekend. The university now pledges never again.
Our hearts remain heavy, and we are deeply ashamed.
Shortly before Joe Paterno died in January, he wrote a letter made public this week in which he praises the school's athletic and sporting achievements. There's not one word for the young rape victims he failed to protect. Mark.
Sad story. Thanks, Paul.